Hey y'all, it's your girl Reacts channel. My name is Talea, and if you are new here, welcome. And if you are coming back, welcome back. So y'all, I am back with another video and I'm pretty excited about this one. But first, I want to say sorry that I missed out on a few other videos. I left y'all hanging from watching Beauty in Black, but y'all, I had to finish it out and I ended up not recording. But it's okay, we're gonna move on to something new. So right now, a show that is trending on TikTok is this show called Forever. It's streaming right now on Netflix. So if y'all haven't watched it already, please log off this video because I'm giving y'all spoilers. And please go watch it for yourself, okay? So in this video, I will be giving y'all a full review on my opinion about the whole series. So I have finished episodes 1 through 8. Yeah, 1 through 8 yesterday. And when I say, I actually enjoyed it. So this show Forever is about two young teenagers who are athletes and they're falling in love with each other. And yes, basically a teen drama, a rom-com. And the best part about it is that it's starring in black people, like black actors, okay? Period. Like, you can't go wrong with that. So let's get straight into this video, y'all, because as y'all can see, I'm excited. So basically, the show starts off with showing Justin and showing him doing his schoolwork. So early on in the episodes, you start to see that he struggles with completing tasks. You can tell, like, you start to see that he struggles in school in general. He can't focus. He just wants to do everything else other than schoolwork, but he does try his best. So he, later on in the episodes, we do find out that he has ADHD, and he also gets pulled out for an IEP. Now, when I saw that part, I resonated with that because I also got pulled out. I had an IEP throughout my whole school career, and yeah, I had it from elementary all the way up until high school, and then I also had accommodations in college. So I definitely relate. I don't have ADHD, but I do have dyslexia. But yeah, so you can tell that he is a young boy who is struggling in school, and it doesn't make it any better when you have parents who are also hard on you and who gives you that extra pressure. So throughout the whole series, you can tell that Justin struggles when it comes to his parents because he just wants to make them proud, and he just doesn't feel good enough. Like, it's like nothing that he does is good enough for them. But in particular, it's really the mom. Nothing that he does is good enough for her, and all he wants to do is make them proud. And being that he's an athlete, you know, you have to keep your grades up in order to play. So basically, throughout the whole series, they're talking about their plan of how he's gonna get into college and get into a D1 school. If you don't know what a D1 school is basically a Division 1 college. There's Division 1 and Division 2, and mainly people who want to go into Division 1 wants to get drafted into the NBA or the NFL and to many other sports. But yeah, so the plan is for him to get into a Division 1 school and basically get a full ride to school. But with that, you have to have amazing grades, and he's just struggling. And I don't think that he's getting encouragement from the parents. It's just pressure on top of pressure. Now, when it comes to basketball, off rip, you already know that he likes playing basketball. He just is not in love with playing basketball. Like, that's not something that he's passionate in. He only does it because it connects him with his parents, honestly, and mainly his dad. Like, him and his dad have a great relationship, and him and his mom, they have a relationship that is okay, but it's not as good as him and the dad's relationship, and we'll go more into that later on. But he really doesn't have a passion for basketball, but he has a passion for music. When he talks about music and when he's making beats, he literally lights up. He doesn't get that same joy when it comes to basketball. So that's how we all know as viewers that he just doesn't enjoy basketball. Throughout the series, you can start to see that the more they have a conversation about school, and the more it gets closer to basically the end of The Wire, where he has to, start applying to schools and really buckle down with schoolwork, you can see how his emotion starts to change, and how every time school or sports is brought up, his whole mood shifts, and no one else sees it. Like, it bothered me watching it because it's like, hello, parents. I get that you have a plan for your child, and that's all cute, that's all fine, and you have the means to do that. But what does your child want? Like, at the end of the day, you lived your life. It's time for him to live his life. So it was frustrating to watch the parents just not see him and basically not even ask him what he wanted to do. It was more so, this is the plan, this is what we're gonna do, you're not doing enough, and you need to try harder. There was no encouragement in the beginning, there was no encouragement. And I'm gonna mainly say there was no encouragement from the mom. She studied breaking him down. I feel like she didn't encourage him enough. There's one part in the episode where they're on vacation and they're with family, and the family tends to also ask him about sports and college and what he wants to do in the future. Typical family things. I went through it. We all go through it. It's annoying questions, but it is what it is. But y'all, it rubbed me the wrong way to hear the uncle. Now, granted, he needed someone to be honest with him, but to tell a child that, oh, that's not gonna work for you, and oh, I can see that was cute, oh, but that's not, you're not gonna get into a Division I school. Like, who are you to tell somebody else, a child at that they can't pursue that dream? Like, what if he actually did want to pursue that dream? You just crushed the child of even wanting to pursue that. So I hated that. Although somebody needed to be honest in front of the mother also, I just don't think that he was handled the right way. Like, ask him questions one-on-one, pick his brain about what he wants to do. Don't tear him down. It was just I didn't like the conversation. But it goes back to the parents. Let's go into my girl Keisha. Now, Keisha is a girl who is struggling. Okay, my girl is struggling emotionally. She's dealing with a lot, but she's not ready to handle those things. Keisha is also someone who no one sees other than her best friend Chloe and Justin. And my girl is literally struggling because there's a whole sex tape out about her. She's doing some things that she shouldn't have done, and her last high school she had to leave because, that happened. Like, it got out. Everybody's talking about her. Her boyfriend exposed her. And I truly felt bad for her because no one should have to go through that. It should be, first off, I don't condone anybody recording anything. That's evidence right there, y'all. Do not record yourselves. And if y'all are gonna do that, please make sure the person deletes it, and make sure you delete it off of your device. But yeah, I don't agree with recording, but it is what it is. It happens, and I really did feel bad for her. So yeah, she's just struggling right now. She just doesn't know what to do. Now, one thing about my girl Keisha though, she has a plan for her life. She loves track, and her main goals her main goal is to get into Howard, full ride. So her background is basically her mom. They don't really have it like that. So because she had to transfer, now her mom has to work 2 jobs just to keep the house that they have and just to keep her in school and track. Like, that is stressful in itself, and I totally get that. So just like Justin puts a lot of pressure on himself when it comes to academics and sports, Keisha puts a lot of pressure on herself because she wants her mom to keep seeing her as the person that she sees her. She doesn't want her mom to be disappointed in her, and that hints to why she doesn't tell her mom about the sex tape in the beginning at all. She just doesn't want to disappoint her. She doesn't want her mom to look at her differently, and to know that she left the school because of it. Like, and now your mom has to work multiple jobs just for y'all to be comfortable. That's a lot of pressure in itself for a kid. So it sucks that she wasn't able to, or she felt like she wasn't able to go to her mom about that. And that just sucks, because you should be able to go to your parents about anything without feeling the pressure of, oh, they're not going to love me the same, or they're not going to treat me the same because of the mistakes that I made. But my girl also is struggling because Christian comes back in town. Her boyfriend knows about the sex tape. She has to tell her mom. Her dad shows back up in her life. Well, he never was not there, but he shows back up during graduation, and she's processing how she feels about each thing. So now when it comes to both their relationships, y'all, me personally, I actually like them. I love their relationship. So when it comes to Keisha and Justin, they both have similar issues with their parents. So I'm gonna speak about Justin's mom and Keisha's mom. So both of them to me are similar in a lot of ways. So although Keisha's mom is a single mother and she raises her by herself, I think that she also struggles with how to handle a teenager, especially a teenage girl. And although parents don't have the handbook of how to be a parent, they still have some areas where they should grow. So now both Justin and Keisha's mom, I personally feel like they love their children so much and they want the best for their child. And I feel like a lot of times that overrides and that is overlooked because of what they want for their child. And I'm gonna break it down. So, for example, Keisha. When Keisha finally told her mom about the sex tape, instead of the mom really being there for her, like, yes, shocked, mad that you didn't tell me first and everybody else knows about it, mad that you had to go through it alone and nobody was there for you, not even the school system. Yes, I totally understood where the mom was coming from, but I also understood where Keisha was coming from, why she didn't want to tell her in the first place. And I also understood that that was something that she went through. You didn't go through it, Mom, but she went through it. Keisha went through it. Like, imagine you going through that and then you have to relive the situation 24/7 with people talking about you. So why would you, as her mother, suggest that she goes to court about it? Yes, I do agree that there should have been some disciplinary things for Christian, and I feel like the school definitely dropped the ball on that. But it's like, I get why she didn't want to do it. Me personally, I don't know what I would have done because I'm not in that situation, never experienced it, and thank God I've never experienced that. But I understood both sides. I just wish that she did a better job with consoling her child, and like in that moment, hug her. Tell her that you are there for her now. Now that you know, you're there for her now and you're supporting her now. But to storm out and say, I gotta head to work, I don't got time for this. It's like, what? I should have just never said nothing in the first place. Then like, I hated that scene because it's just like, she could have just kept it to herself. She was handling it. Okay, I don't think that she was handling it the best way she could have in the beginning, but she would have got through it. And unfortunately, she didn't need you for that, because you honestly made her 10 times, like, you made her feel worse, and all she needed was you to be there as her mother. And she knew, she already bashed herself about it. People are already talking about her, so why add on to it? So yeah, don't agree with how she went about it, but I do feel like both moms see their children. They know when their children is down. They know their mood swings, and I applaud them for that, because some parents don't even know their child enough to know when their child is not being themselves. So now let's go on to Justin's mom, because she was the only parent that pissed me off throughout the whole series, okay? Literally the only parent, okay? Justin's mom is controlling. She nags. She's very much annoying. And she made me upset in a lot of scenes, because it's like, you're not listening to your son. It's me. What I want as your mother, what I want as your mother, what I want as your mother. But when are you going to understand what Justin wants as your child, as your son? So in the beginning, the very first episode, yes, I agreed with the mama. Like, how you going to ask me to go to a party, one you was not invited to? Well, I mean, he was invited. But you're going to ask me to go to a party, but you don't know the when, where. You don't know all of the W's. And all a parent wants is the W's. And I honestly understood that, because my parents is the same way. Like, there was no, oh, you going to a party if you don't tell me when the party start, who you going with, when you coming back home, what time the party is over. Like, there was none of that. Who the parents are, like, are parents gonna be there? Like, there was no playing around with that. So I totally get that. So I did feel like Justin was rude in that moment with his mom. Better communication. I personally feel like communication on Justin and his mom is terrible. I feel like he communicates better with his dad, because I feel like his dad is more patient. His mom inserted herself a lot in situations that she didn't need to insert herself in. That's how I felt, honestly. And I'm going to say that although she knew when he was down, she also teared him down. And she was the reason for a lot of his mood swings. So I say that because it's like nothing that he could do was good enough for her. Like, he tried, you told him to do better in school, buckle down, you need his grades to be up, and when he does, and then you tell him to do his assignments, do his application, do early application, do the early essay, he does it, and you still find a way to insert yourself. Like, you still found a way to say something negative. There was nothing positive. It was just like, okay, you did that. All right, what's the next thing? This is what else you have to do. It was no like, oh my God, I'm proud of you. The only time she said that she was proud of him is when he did with something that she wanted him to do, or when he basically got into the school that she wanted him to go to. But that whole time that she was raving on about the school, it was mainly about her, stroking her ego as a parent. She was calling all her friends and excited, but it's like, when are you going to check on your child and see that he's not excited? The only one that knew he wasn't excited was Keisha, and that is crazy. I don't like that. One, you wanted him to date a black girl. He did that. But in the same breath, you like, okay, I understand as a parent you wanting to protect your child, and when she found out about the sex tape, you had your opinion about it. But it's not your place to tell your child, your son, who he should and shouldn't date. If you originally liked the girl before you even knew about the sex tape, and before the breakup, you knew you liked her. You was excited. You was like, my son finally got a black girl. Da, 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 da. But it's like, now you don't like the girl? Okay. Now, yes, you had a valid reason. The mom had a valid reason to not like Keisha because she broke her son's heart. But after that, girl, get over it. Like, you already know how freaking teenage love is. You know how high schoolers are. They're wishy-washy with their feelings. One minute they feel this, one minute they feel that. You've been there. So you should be encouraging, not someone who plays a part in the ups and downs as the mother. So now with his dad. I love his relationship with his dad. His dad is not someone who babies him or treats him any type of way. He shows him love no matter what his decisions are in life. His dad encourages him and shows him how to be a man. The mom definitely coddles him a lot, but also pushes him hard. That's one thing I can commend the mom. She does push him to be the best version of himself. She tries. But the dad definitely teaches him how to be a man. He like, all right, lady, bump what you got to say, and you put too much pressure on my man. Let him be a man. If you want him to be a man like you keep saying, let him do it. Let him. And then you talking about some. Now, yes, she was right. He shouldn't have, be going out driving late because he lives in an area where, the white police officers or police officers in general patrol outside. Like, I understood all of that. Like, she wanted to protect her son from being racially profiled. I totally get it. But it's like, if you already instilled those teachings in him, he's going to be okay. Like, I feel like parents have to give their children room to grow. You lived your life and they have to make mistakes and they have to live it. But I also understand, being that I'm older and not in high school, I totally understand the pressure of, I'm not a parent, but I understand the pressures of seeing young people and hearing the stuff that they do and seeing the things that they do. So I totally get it from all ends. But being that I was a kid before and a high schooler before, I understand how hard it is to be in that position. So yeah, I love his relationship with his dad. I think his dad does an amazing job with teaching him about sex, teaching him about the ladies, teaching him how to just be an all-around man, black man. So yeah. Now, for the part that I am excited to talk about, Keisha and Justin's relationship. I freaking love their relationship. It is so cute. Puppy love, basically. Basically, it's really his first love. Keisha is his first love. And I'm going to be honest, Justin is Keisha's first love. Keisha has been in love with that boy since she was yay high, okay? He just never paid attention to her, which is very on brand for a lot of guys. But yeah, I love their relationship. It was super cute. In the beginning, off rip, I love how they showed them like looking at each other when they first saw each other at the party, and there was a spark, okay? Now, when I first watched it, I was like, is that realistic? I don't think that's realistic, like seeing love at first sight. But then when they started talking, I realized, hold up, it's not like a love at sight thing. It's these two characters rekindling and reuniting. They knew each other from childhood. They just separated during high school, and now they're reconnecting. So no, it was not no love at first sight, but I thought it was really cute. Now, you can tell automatically that Justin is awkward and that he's weird, but you can also tell that my girl Keisha is struggling socially. Seeing her at that party, I can tell that she feels uncomfortable, because I have been in those situations where I'm at events and I feel uncomfortable like that. That's exactly how I look when I'm at events. Well, yeah. Well, when I used to be at events. Automatically, Keisha is the character who basically makes the first move all the time. And that could be annoying, but I love that she was bold, and I love how she's not afraid to try and make a fool out of herself. I love how honest both of them are in their relationship. Like, they're honest and they're able to tell each other how they're feeling. I personally feel like Justin tells his feelings a lot more than Keisha does. I feel like Keisha definitely shows it in her body language and in her face expressions. Justin, he's a feeler. He feels everything. He will let you know how he feels. He's gonna ask questions. He's not gonna just let it be. And for my girl Keisha, she's like kind of someone who feels everything, but she just doesn't go out and say it. So let's talk about the prom. Her going to... Okay, no, let's talk about them always blocking each other. That is one thing that is so toxic to me, and I hate relationships that block each other like that all the time. Like, if y'all gotta block each other 24/7, maybe this is not it for you. But I'm only speaking from someone who's never been in a relationship. Okay? And if you want to know more about that, please head over to my YouTube channel. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to talk about Christian and this sex tape thing with my girl Keisha. So, I did not like that in the first episode, the friend Darius tells Justin about the sex tape. He sends him the video, but way before that, my girl Keisha and Justin basically are at the movie theaters, and she tries to go down on him. And he makes this comment. He was like, no, you don't have to do that because I bought you something. And she originally feels some type of way. But I understand why she felt some type of way. But I wish that they would have had a conversation. And like, instead of her walking away, I wish she would have just told him, instead of assuming that he knew about the sex tape. So when Justin finally found out about the sex tape from his friend Darius, he felt bad about his comment, but she blocked him already, so he couldn't apologize. And I don't feel like that was healthy. That was a smart thing to do. I feel like she should have just let it be for a little bit and let him explain himself, because that's not what his intent was, and he didn't mean to make her upset. But I like that whole sex thing was a lot, and I feel bad for all of the girls who actually go through that. But yeah, so I hated that was going around about her, and then to later see her with her family, and they bring up Christian, and nobody is reading the body language of my girl. Nobody is asking her, is she okay? Like, you got silent. Like, nobody sees her. No one. Another reason why I understand why she didn't say anything. Like, everybody just loves Christian and likes him because he's gonna be a D1 player and he's a good basketball player. Like, all right, that's all cute, but what about his character? Like, he did something and now she can't express that because y'all all like him and nobody sees that the body language is changing. But y'all just want to keep going on about Christian. And I hated that Christian showed up out of the blue after all this time. Like, you knew why she broke up with you, so why are you trying to come back? Then trying to smooth talk his way into saying I'm sorry, da da da. Like, it was so annoying. Like, I was so frustrated watching that. And then what was also heartbreaking was to see when they did have a conversation. Like, of course, Justin don't know what they're talking about. He doesn't know, but he's only going off of body language. And it sucks because Justin was hurt. And I love how his mother cut off the conversation because she read her son's body language. Justin's mom was like, all right, let me get my son up out of here. And we gonna take my boy where he need to go. And I love that. And so I'm gonna applaud mama for that. And I wish that Justin didn't block her. I wish that he would have just went home and did what he did. And later, when she did call him, later you expressed to her why you felt some type of way and why that was hard for you. Granted, she already knew that once she realized that you left, why he left. Excuse me. But yeah, I just feel like the blocking back and forth was too much for me. I personally do not like that toxic energy. Not a fan. I never want to be in that situation where I gotta block you because you pissed me off. I want to be able to talk to you, but I gotta remember that I'm 25. I'm a 25-year-old who is watching teenagers, and this is what teenagers do. They block each other. Okay, unfortunately they block each other and then they get back together, so I get it. Another thing about their relationship, I love how they worked it out every time. Okay, although they had their ups and downs, a lot of arguments, which is very common for relationships. You're gonna have disagreements, you're going to argue, and they did tend to have a lot of disagreements. Like, they disagreed on her going to prom with Christian, which I totally get why she went to prom with Christian. But I also get why Justin didn't like the fact that she was going to prom with Christian. Like, girl, this man did X, Y, and Z to you. He ruined your life. He's making you feel some type of way. And at the end of the day, you're my girlfriend. So why are you going to prom with somebody else? Literally in a secret relationship. Sorry, wouldn't do it. But I understood that she didn't want to blow up her mom's life. But it's like, baby girl, your life blew up. And your mom has every right to know. No matter how she would have took it or handled it, she had every right to know. So I totally get why my girl did not really want to hurt her mom's feelings or her family and went to prom with him anyway. Like, I totally understood that. But I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have went to prom with him, especially being that I have a boyfriend. And you mean to tell me that you can't tell? Like, you can't tell your mom? You can't tell your mom about me? Like, you can't do none of that? Like, your mom already knows Justin, so just tell your mom the real thing and just go from there. So yeah, they had a disagreement about that, which I feel like I understood. Then they disagreed about her telling her mom. They disagreed. Now, towards the end of the series, I literally disliked. Okay, although I love that they worked out every situation that they had and they decided to not do any more blocking, not do any more arguing, and I love that for them. There was growth. But I just hated towards the end the whole college talk because Justin Like, I although I think the world of their relationship, I do feel like I agree with what Keisha's dad said. I agree that Justin was all over the place. Justin was unsure of himself, and I feel like outside of Keisha, he didn't know who he was. He didn't know what he truly enjoyed. And I feel like you cannot base your relationship, you cannot base your happiness off of a relationship, solely on a relationship. Yes, it's a part of your happiness, but it cannot be your everything, because when that relationship is gone, at the end of the day, you have yourself. So I feel like Justin, and I don't even think that he realized that he was doing it, but he based his whole life around Keisha. Like, I love how Keisha encouraged him. I love how, first off, they encouraged each other in a lot of ways. And they spoke life into each other. And they was each other's safe space. Love that. But Keisha had a plan. Keisha had her whole goals set before meeting Justin. Justin is someone who just does what his parents want him to do. He hasn't spoke up for himself. So I totally agree that although I don't like how her dad handled the situation about drilling Justin at the party and doing it in front of everyone, because that was another layer of breaking him down as a man and breaking him down as a boy, I would say. Because I feel like that should have been a conversation in private, not in front of everyone. Because that's like making him feel like how his mom makes him feel. That's how I felt. Like, that's what I got from it. But her dad wasn't wrong when he told her, I was just like Justin. And I'm now struggling and basically don't even know what I'm doing in life, and not even there for you physically as your parent, because I'm chasing a dream. Because all because I didn't know who I was. And I got your mom pregnant with you because your mom was my everything. That is literally Justin. For him to say, oh, I should go to Howard with you, baby, no. I agree with Keisha, no. I would have been upset too. Like, I cannot be your everything, your end all be all. And I agree with his friend Darius. You need to do something else outside of that girl. Like, literally, he started to become suffocating. Like, you feel some type of way when she's hanging out with friends. It's like you only want her to be around you. Like, I don't think he would have been able to handle her going off to Howard, because she's going to try to live her life, and all he's going to do is want to be on the phone with her 24/7. And who's to say that he's really going to work hard academically if he's only focused on Keisha? And then she would have plumaged too, because your man is only thinking about you. And she would have been because she loves him, she still would have been talking to him 24/7. But then they would have had problems, because my girl was going to live her life. She was going to enjoy herself. That was the whole goal. That is what college is about, enjoying yourself. And I just did not like that he said that, and he really felt some type of way. And then tried to make her feel bad about it. Like, no, she's not wrong for telling you that you don't even know what you want. And then you only want to do basketball and go to, I don't even remember the name of the school, but you only want to go to this school now because your mom is happy and your father is happy. That's cool. But what do you want? If you can't speak up for yourself, how else are you going to speak up for the relationship? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it was just a lot. And for that conversation to happen after prom, I was like, dang, that's a way to ruin it. That's a way to ruin it. But I do agree with her dad. So towards the end, I just don't know how I feel about the breakup, honestly. Honestly speaking, I don't know how I feel about the breakup. I don't know if I agree that they should have broke up, and I don't know if they should have. And I'm going to tell you why. So, I personally feel like they could have made long distance work, but I do believe Justin had to cut it off. I feel like he should have tried it. I feel like they should have tried. But for the sake of their friendship and the sake of loving each other, I do like that they did decide to end it on a great note, because who's to say they won't get back together? Who's to say they won't get back together? So I love that they ended on that note. It was heartbreaking because they love each other. They don't want to be with anybody else but each other. But at the end of the day, they're on two different paths. And I do believe when couples are on two different paths and one is trying to figure themselves out and one has everything figured out but also have more to grow and surpass you in that area, I don't think that you can be aligned. There's gonna be moments where you're gonna hold her back, and there's gonna be moments where she could possibly resent him for a lot of things that he's doing. So I do applaud Justin for stepping up and basically having that hard conversation with Keisha and letting her know, like, I have to basically get myself together. In order to be who I need to be for myself, I need to get myself together. And I love and applaud Keisha for, although she didn't like it and although it hurt on both ends, she understood. And like I said, I just love how they ended it on a date. It was hard to watch. And yeah, but all that is my review. So my review on the series is definitely a 10 out of 10. I do recommend everybody to go watch it. I thought it was a cute movie. I liked a lot of things about it. I love that, like I said, it's about black teenagers, one. I love how it talks about hard things, ups and downs. I love that it showed the parents' viewpoints on a lot of things. I love how it highlighted certain things that teenagers actually go through, and not just teenagers, a lot of adults also go through. It shows the mood swings of teenagers and how dating actually does affect them, and how parents don't know how to go about it or how they do handle it. I love how even though that they had their toxic moments, they also had great moments where they communicated well with each other. There was no disrespect, there was no domestic violence, there was no verbal violence, there was nothing like that. He genuinely loved her and she genuinely loved him, and I love that, because you don't see a lot of movies where children are actually talking to each other and they understand their emotions and they can express how they feel. Now, one thing I can say that I dislike, okay, both characters were virgins. Okay, love that both characters were virgins. And I love how the show showed how both people were virgins, and how they lost their virginity and all that. But I'm gonna be completely honest here. I want to find a show or a movie where people stay virgins. Now, this could be controversial and y'all might not agree with me, but I feel as though not everyone is having sex, and especially not in high school. For young people who aren't having sex, I would love for them to come out with shows and movies pertaining to relationships and love, catered to those who aren't sexually active. Because I feel like a lot of movies, especially with teenagers, they tend to go the route of them losing their virginity, or the person already has had sex before. But it's like a lot of kids aren't doing that. A lot of kids are not partying. A lot of kids are not drinking. And I feel like if we're going to make a movie, let's make it for multiple people to relate to and not just one person. So when it comes to the sex thing, I get it. A lot of people, teenagers, have had sex and they want to see themselves and want to relate to a lot of situations. But there also are young people who never had sex before. There's also adults who never had sex before. And it's kind of hard to resonate with the character sometimes when it comes to the sex stuff because you're not having it, or you don't have any desire for it, or you do have desire for it, but they don't show the challenges of being lustful and not wanting to do those things and wanting to do those things at the same time. I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, that's the only thing I dislike about it. But overall, the show was a good show. Yeah. So I would say that the characters, they did an amazing job. I feel like everybody can see themselves in each character. Whereas if they are the best friends, like Chloe and Darius, or if they're the parents, or if they're the two main characters. So I personally feel like they could definitely relate to it. But yeah, y'all, and another thing, y'all wanna know what's dope? Is that they just got renewed for a season 2. Y'all, this is the fastest a show has gotten picked up, okay? The fastest. Like, literally, they're doing a season 2, and I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, so that's the ending of this video. This is my whole review. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed my opinions. Let's get some dialogue going in the chat. In the comment section. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about the show. Y'all tell me if y'all disliked it, liked it. I already seen some people liked it. A lot of people liked it. But I only saw one person on Facebook who didn't like it. So let me know y'all opinions and everything like that. And let me know what y'all think about my opinions. So just like that, your girl is out. And I'll catch y'all with the next show, the next movie, or the next book. Peace out.